Hello, syntax lover. Today's question that I will be covering up is a very important for ICSE. That is the difference between procedure oriented language and object oriented language. Well, I'm very sure you know that there is something called OOPS. But if you're starting with BlueJ for the first time, let me show you how this OOPS work practically. And I will also show you how do procedure oriented language works. So for that reason, I will be using the C language in regard to procedure oriented, and I will be using BlueJ in regard to object oriented. So both the programs I will be keeping them side by side and I will explain the differences. But before that, as we know that you need to write your theory questions. So for that reason, I will provide you a URL link at my GitHub account that will bring you to this particular PDF file. If you open the file, here you are going to get the detail of this theory answer. How do you explain this? Always remember, for your computer subject, in regard to your theory or your programs, try to portray them graphically by drawing picture. This illustration will fetch you good score, because my target is to make you people secure 100 out of 100. So this is how you are going to demonstrate your procedure oriented, and if you come down, this is what your object oriented is. So let me start with object oriented, and over here 6 points are there which I will explain one by one. So you can see over here, I have got object 1, I have got object 2. But what the hell this object is all about? Well, object is means when you talk about Java, it's a collection of object. And definitely you don't know anything about object, but don't worry. By the end of today's video, everything will be clear. So let me open my BlueJ. I have written a very small program, and the name of the program and the name of the class is I have given as oops. You are free to choose whatever class name you feel like. So that means every program which you are writing will involve a class. So this is a class you can consider, okay? And you can replicate, you can create multiple class also. So we will even cover that when we go to the topic called inheritance in upcoming videos. So that's the reason I will suggest you people that you do subscribe to my channel and do click the bell icon so that you get an immediate notification, because every week I'm going to upload multiple videos. Okay, so coming back to my BlueJ, over here I have defined something called variable, because this is what going to hold the data. Don't worry if you don't understand this statement, there will be a lot of videos coming up where you will be clearly able to follow what the variable is. For the time being, just imagine when you go to school, you carry a bag, and inside the bag, what do you have? You have a book. So imagine that bag name is something called X, or it's a variable. And depending upon what you are going to carry, your bag varies. So if you have to carry something which is solid, your bag need to be of that kind. If you have to carry something liquid, then your container has to be of that fashion, isn't it? So over here I have got the value, that is 99, which I'm storing inside this X. So this is a variable, and over here this is a segment called function. Okay, so that means your program will have something called class, and inside the class we will be coming across variables as well as functions. So these are something that we are going to cover multiple times in upcoming videos, and that is what I'm portraying over here. See, over here I have got public method, so these are public functions, and over here I have private data, but I didn't write any private data over here. Rather, what I've done is that I've gone for a global variable, which means that this variable can be accessible by any one of these functions that is present inside this class, and that is something which is very important. So nobody will be able to access this variable until and unless the function is a part of this class. So the function has to be the part of this, then only inside this class, then only it will be able to access this variable. So let me run this program, because over here I've said that the program is written as a collection of objects. So how do I create the object? The very simple way of creating the object is, after you've written the class, you right click over here and you get an option called new oops. I know I have not shown you the very first program, but if you open your book, you will find that this question is there, the differentiate between procedure and object oriented. For that's the reason I'm showing you practically, but I will start with the very first program. So don't worry, please keep watching my videos, everything will be clear. So let me right click over here, you get the option called new, and as I click this item, you get a very important option called create object. or here it is saying name an instance. So I am creating an object, and that's what my PDFs refer. It's a collection of objects. It's a plural. That means you can create multiple objects. So let me write an object name as obj1. That's the name I have chosen. So this is one object that belongs to the class called oops, because the class name which I have given is called oops. See over here I have got another class over here, but that class has a different name. So I can create again another object over here. So this is going to be obj2. So this is what I was referring, that you are free to create as many objects you want. Now what these objects are made up of, what is this object going to have? The object is going to have a state and a behavior. That's what it will be helpful to perform the operation. So if you come back to the code which I have written, see, if you access the function 1, it will be printing this following statement. This is a line that will print something on the screen. Don't worry about this line if you are unable to follow. Just see how the output is coming up. That is what the most important is. And we are trying to solve the answer to this particular theory question. That is what the basic purpose of this video. So let me come over here, let me right click over here. See, now I have got both the functions. So it is my choice which particular function I wish to run. So if I want to run the function 1, and here comes the output, and that is what the function 1 was referring to. See, it will be printing the statement called, this is the function 1, and it will display the value that is there inside the variable. So I have printed the function 1. So if I now wish to print function 2, that also I can do it, and this function 2 has just got one statement. See over here it has got a simple statement. That is what you are coming. So that means it's my choice which particular function I want, or it's my choice which particular object do I execute. So this is making your program more user friendly. So even though your program has got both the function, but it's your choice which particular function you will be giving a call depending upon your selection. So I'm selecting the function and I'm calling it. That is what the beauty of BlueJ. But when it comes to your procedure oriented language, let me show you how the execution is taking place. So here I have declared a variable just like the way I declare a variable over here. But if you see, this variable is within the class, but this variable is not within the, over here in case of C or procedure we have something called main, but we don't have anything called class over here, and this variable is within the class, but this is outside the main function. Okay, so if you are declaring something outside the main function, you can access this variable from any function of your choice. So I have a function called 2 over here. See, it is accessing this. I have a function called 1 which will have a plain simple statement just like the way I've written over here. But the difference is that the flexibility which I was getting of selecting which particular object I want or which particular function I want, that flexibility you will not get. Rather, what will happen if you run the program? See how the execution is taking place. Since you are calling function 2 at first, so that's the reason this statement, this is the function 2 that is coming at first, and then function 1 is coming this following line with the value that has been shown over here. That means when the execution of this program is taking place, it is starting from the top and it is moving slowly toward the down, and that's the reason why I have said in my PDF file that a procedure oriented language follows a top down approach. So it starts from the top and it goes to the bottom, and see, it is of less abstraction. That means you have to decide at the time of program writing which particular function you want to execute at first. Over here the reusability is less because over here I'm creating multiple objects, so many objects I can create, so usability is more available in case of object oriented compared to procedure. And obviously the structure of the program, the flow execution of program depend upon the structure, because the way I have written, which function calling I have written, that what decides the execution. So that means if I call my function 1 before my function 2 getting called, then only we will be seeing this execution of the following function at first. So now let me compile the program, and here comes the output. Let me show you. Yes, now it is showing that this is the first function call and then the value, and thereafter the function 2 is getting executed. So it is following a top down approach, but that is not happening in case of BlueJ. You are selecting which function you want to execute, and that is the reason why it is called bottom up approach. So your selection is what going to finally decide that which particular function you want to be executed. So you are selecting from this list. So this is what this particular video presentation was all about. You saw that this is one single program, but over here you have got multiple objects. As you can see, these are the objects which are creating through the help of this option. So you can create as many number of objects you want for a given class. So obviously the flexibility is much higher in regard to OOPS. Please go through these points. I hope this point are clear. Still, if you have any question, don't forget to ask the question in the comment section. I will surely give the answer to your doubts. You can send me WhatsApp if you feel like, and don't forget to subscribe my channel because I will be uploading weekly lot of videos. My aim is to increase number of syntax lover. I want to spread the love of Java among the students because you guys are going to be the future of our country. Okay, so please go through the video and wait for my next video where I will be resolving another important topic. That's going to be the first chapter. All this thing what I'm covering up is the very first chapter of your syllabus, and then we will be going one by one to the each program that will be coming out. Okay, so wait for my next video. Until then, have a nice time.